Welcome to Tech Rise Media. This is our first tutorials on a programming language. We're going to start with Dart. Uh, the reason why we want to start with this language is because, let's say, for example, you have a great idea for an app. You want to create the next Headspace app. You want to create the next meditation app. You want to create the next Clash Royale. You want to be on top of the league. You have a great idea for social media app, or you want to create the next TikTok app, um, or the next dating app, or you want to create the next Pokemon Go, or those people who love Candy Crush. You want to be the next person who's creating the new fresh idea of Candy Crush. You want to rule them all. You want to be on top of the chart, um, and you want to know, where do I start? Which language? Oh my God, there's so many of them. Do I have to learn iOS, Swift, Object? Do I have to learn iOS? Do I have to know go study new programming language? Do I have to know Java for Android? Do I have to study a new IDE? Do I have to learn about Xcode, or do I have to learn about Android Studio? If you're new to programming and you don't know any of those names or what I'm talking about, welcome. Welcome. Um, that, of course, if you know about it, excellent. You know when it was started, who created it, who developed it was Google, and what they were trying to achieve. They want to make a multi-platform, so you could create mobile apps, desktop, talk to servers, and web application. The one language to rule them all, I suppose. And you want to know, where do I start? So they actually have you could go to um, their main official website, and you could find out more about the language, how fast is it, what does it do, and so on. What are some of the features, the benefits? Um, Really bookmark this website, because you're probably going to be using a lot if you really want to take that seriously and you want to be a good developer. Um, if you go to docs, and what you could do, you could start with the sample language, language sample. What it does, it gives you like a overview, a basic understanding what's a variable function, what's classes, inheritance, and all these things. If you're new to programming, you probably won't know what these words or what I'm saying to you. You're probably thinking, oh my God, what's this guy talking about? Uh, but if you already know another programming languages, for example, I know a little bit of Swift, Objective-C, and Python, and a little bit of Java. If you know that already, then of course you would go to more in detail about the language. Like if you go to language tool, this will give you more in depth about the language. What's a list, and of course more in detail about list, and so on. But again, if you're new to programming, this all means nothing to you. So click on try Dart, and you get to the Dart part here. I'm just gonna make this slightly bigger for you to see. So you could create a new pad, um, and so let's create a new pad, and let's press OK. And we're gonna talk more about flutter later on. So we'll click on Dart, and we'll click on create. I'm gonna delete everything here because that would only confuse you more. So let's delete everything. um, so with Dart, everything starts inside a main function, and there's two ways to write this. You could do the boring way, or what you would see most people would do. Of course, as a coder or a programmer, we're a bit lazy. We don't want to write a lot of codes. We want to make everything small and compact and so on. But let's start with the what you would mostly see on tutorials or on YouTube and stuff like that. So you see void main, and you have, so you have a parenthesis, so you have an open one and a closed one, and you have two curly brackets. So you have an open curly bracket and you have a closed curly bracket, and then you press enter, and then every single line of code goes within this curly bracket. So just bear that in mind. Sometimes it's very confusing. Some people write it here. Of course there is, but for now we put everything inside a curly bracket. So that's the first way to write the main function, or you could just do main, and then you could open again, uh, open one parenthesis and close the other one. So you have open and close parentheses. That's if I pronounce it properly. and two curly brackets. So you have one open and one close. Yeah, and we're good to go. So if we click run now, nothing will happen. You're thinking, oh, what's going on? Why can't I see? There's nothing. So that has created something called a function called print. So in most languages, people always print hello world, just to get people to see the word hello world printed in a console. So if we go to, if we type print, so let me make some space and let's make this a little bit bigger. And if I type print and another open parenthesis, you're gonna see curly brackets and parentheses a lot. Get used to them. They're your new buddies. They're your best friend. You're gonna see them a lot. Now with that, if we're writing a word like hello, how are you doing, and stuff like that, we have to put them inside quotations mark. So quotation. So there's two ways we could do it. We could do it in a single quotation, or we could do it in a double quotation. Of course, the documentation says do it in single, but if you're used to other programming languages, you're used to quote mode, you're used to double. So I'll leave it double, and we'll just type hello world, and we end it with semicolon. You're gonna see this a lot, lots of semicolons. So anytime you need to end something, a line of code, you're mostly gonna do a semicolon. I know in Python you don't have to do it, but in Dart you have to do it. So you click. Now let's click run. What do you think will happen? Hello world will print. Hello world is here. See that? Hello world. Yeah. Now let's do the same thing, but let's put it in a single quote. Hello world. In a single quote, and run again. The same thing will happen. Nothing has changed. Now, what do you think if we take this print and we bring it down? So we're outside the main function. So let's press run, and let's make this smaller and see what it says. So it's saying that, hey, you're outside the main. Can you bring it, take this back inside the main? Red is always bad, but you learn to love red later on in life. And red is really good also, because you most of these compilers, they give you like a good description what's wrong, and then you just have to learn where the issue is. But as a beginner, it's probably pretty much difficult to understand this whole thing here. All it's saying is that keep it within the main. Now if we click run, there you go, back to hello world. So it's your turn. So let's print goodbye. So we're gonna, how would you print goodbye? There you go, you guessed it. Goodbye, and there you go. So yeah, that's it. That's the main print hello world. Anytime you start programming, you're probably going to do this just to teach people what a function is, and pretty much that's it. So the next tutorial, we're going to talk about variables and way to use them. All right then. I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Goodbye.